Most people are not broke because they don't work hard. They're broke because they've been working inside the wrong system. We were taught to work for money, save a little, spend the rest, and hope something changes. But hope has never built wealth. Structure does. The truth is, you don't need a higher income to build wealth. You need discipline, consistency, and unity. Trying to build wealth alone is the slowest and riskiest way to do it. But when people work together, pool resources, and move with a plan, everything changes. This is where most people get it wrong. They believe wealth requires big money. It doesn't. It requires a better system. The $25 wealth formula is not about getting rich quick. It's about creating a repeatable process that ordinary people can follow. If 10 people can come together, stay consistent, and follow a plan, they can build what one person working alone never could. You don't need more money, you need a better system. This idea didn't come to me all at once. It came in pieces, over 15 years. At different moments in my life, God kept showing me the same message in different ways. That wealth isn't built by one person, and freedom isn't meant to be chased alone. Every time I looked at money, business, and community, the same pattern kept appearing. Small actions, done consistently, by many people working together. That's where the $25 idea came from. Not because $25 is special by itself, but because it's small enough for almost anyone to commit to without fear. God doesn't ask us to start big. He asks us to start faithfully. $25 removes excuses. It removes intimidation. It removes the mindset that says, I'll start when I have more. This is not my plan. This is our plan. And more importantly, this is God's plan. The question isn't whether the idea works. The question is, are you ready to work together on what God has already shown us? The power of $25 isn't in the number itself. It's in what happens when that number is used consistently and collectively. On its own, $25 doesn't feel like much. Most people spend it without even noticing. But when 10 people commit to $25 every single week, something shifts. Now it's no longer spending. It's building. $25 times 10 people is $250 a week. That's $1,000 a month. That's over $12,000 in a year. And that's before leverage, before profit, before reinvestment. The real power of $25 is that it trains discipline. It teaches consistency. It builds trust within the group. Anyone can make a big deposit once. But showing up every week is what separates builders from dreamers. If you can be faithful with small money, you can be trusted with bigger opportunities. That's why this formula works. Not because of luck, not because of income, but because discipline, repeated over time, always multiplies. Small money, used the right way, becomes powerful. The real force behind the $25 wealth formula isn't the money, it's the people. 10 people working together will always outperform one person working alone, no matter how talented that one person is. Why? Because unity multiplies effort, reduces risk, and increases momentum. When you build with 10 people, you don't just share money, you share responsibility, accountability, and vision. Every person brings something different to the table: skills, ideas, experience, energy, and perspective. That's why God always works through groups. Nothing powerful in history was built by one person acting alone. 10 people create balance. If one person stumbles, the group carries them. If one person is strong, the group moves faster. This is how you remove pressure and fear from the process. The goal isn't perfection, it's participation. The goal isn't speed, it's consistency. 10 people with one plan, moving in the same direction, can build something that lasts. That's the power of 10. Leverage is the difference between struggling and scaling. Most people think leverage is something only banks and big corporations can use, but the truth is, leverage is simply using what you have to access what you don't. When 10 people pool their money together, that money now has more weight. It speaks louder. It opens doors that individual dollars can't. Banks use leverage every day. They take small deposits and turn them into massive loans and investments. Corporations do the same thing. The $25 wealth formula teaches you to apply that same principle, responsibly and intentionally. You're not trying to gamble, you're trying to position. Leverage allows your group to move faster, reduce risk, and make smarter decisions. It turns savings into opportunity. This is how small money becomes seed money. This is how discipline becomes access. Leverage isn't about borrowing recklessly. It's about creating enough structure and consistency that opportunities start coming to you. When you learn to leverage together, small efforts begin to produce big outcomes. The purpose of the $25 wealth formula isn't just to save money, it's to build ownership. Money sitting still doesn't create freedom. Money put to work does. Once your group has discipline, structure, and leverage, the next step is to build the first business. Not something complicated, not something risky, something simple, stable, and repeatable. That might be a barbershop, vending machines, ATMs, a cleaning company, or another service-based business. The goal isn't to chase hype. It's to create consistent cash flow. This is where many people get stuck. They overthink, overplan, and never execute. But building doesn't require perfection. It requires action. Ownership changes everything. Now your money is producing income. Now your group is learning how to operate together. Now you're gaining real experience, not just ideas. This is the shift from saving to building, from dreaming to doing. You're no longer working for money alone. You're building systems that work for you. This is where wealth is truly built. Not at the moment you make profit, but at the moment you decide what to do with that profit. Most people celebrate income and immediately spend it. The wealthy do the opposite. They reinvest first. Reinvestment is what turns one business into many. It's how growth becomes permanent. When your group earns money, that money should have a job. Some of it goes back into the business. Some of it prepares for the next opportunity. Some of it strengthens the foundation. Reinvestment is discipline in action. It's the willingness to delay comfort today for freedom tomorrow. This principle isn't new. It's the law of sowing and reaping. What you plant determines what you harvest. When you reinvest together, momentum compounds. Your first business begins funding the second. Your second prepares the third. This is how you stop starting over. This is how wealth multiplies. Reinvesting is not sacrifice, it's strategy. The real power of the $25 wealth formula is not what it does once. It's what it does over time. Wealth is not built in months. It's built in years of repetition. When you repeat this process, save, leverage, build, reinvest, you stop relying on luck and start relying on systems. One business becomes two, two become five, five become 10. And as the businesses grow, so does the group. 10 people become 20, 20 become hundreds, hundreds become thousands. This is how small beginnings turn into lasting legacy. The goal isn't quick success. The goal is sustainable freedom. Over 5, 10, 15 years, this formula creates something most people never experience: stability, ownership, and options. Repeating the process removes fear. It builds confidence. It creates predictability. You're no longer hoping for change, you're designing it. This is how you build something that outlives you. This is how wealth becomes generational. Everything you've heard so far comes down to one question. Are you ready to participate? This is not about watching another video or liking another idea. This is about deciding to move differently. This is not my plan. This is our plan. And more importantly, this is God's plan, revealed through discipline, unity, and consistency. The blueprint is simple, but the commitment is real. It requires showing up every week. It requires trusting the process. It requires working together instead of trying to do everything alone. If you're serious about changing your life, your family, and your community, it starts with action, not intention. I'm asking you to do 3 things. First, commit to the formula. Second, share this message with 10 people who are ready to build, not just talk. And third, stay connected. Follow, support, and grow with this movement. We can build something powerful together. One group, one system, one purpose. This is the calling. This is the movement. This is the legacy.